Bradley Beal, you should know at the start of this that I'm a Chicago guy, and I know you love MJ. Mm-hmm. So let's just get that out of the open right now. I mean, do you guys still talk about MJ around the Wizards every now and then? Because people underrate that Wizard career now, just for the record.
No, they do. Mike is always going to be a legend. We know that. His legacy is untouched, and people in DC love him. So it still reigns. Okay. Sure.
I mean, I just feel like I got to tell you, he scored 49 times as a Wizard, right? He went 51 and 45 back to back. He was 40 years old, right? He didn't play for 3 years.
That's wild. That's a different animal, man. That's a different animal. Sheesh.
Yeah. So here, there's a lot to talk about here, but you're working with Rockin' Protein today, keeping you on your game. So let's talk about who you're doing business with and why you wanted to partner with them.
Rockin' Protein is my go-to protein drink. One, it tastes great, which is hard to find in the protein world. But two, they use real milk. Not a lot of products do that. Their Shamrock Farms product is awesome. My kids love it too. But they have 3 divisions. They have a protein builder, they have a recovery shake, they have an energy shake. And as athletes, that's big and important for us. What you put into your body and the intake of it. So it's very low in sugar versus products that have boosted sugar, high carbs, high lactose, things that your body doesn't need, and sugars and stuff that your body doesn't need to perform well. So that's pretty much why, man. Like, I respect, the athletes they've worked with in the past, and just their brand. They really are true to what they say they are and who they are.
Well, everything you're teeing up kind of speaks to, you're playing in the Olympics. You guys have a long NBA season. There's been a lot of discussion about, this, obviously with the pandemic, things got jumbled up. So there's been a lot put on you guys. How are you handling this extra summer workload? You went to the playoffs, all of it.
Yeah, it's definitely different, like in years past, because the season ended, and usually I'll take a month or 2 off, maybe longer, and before I jump back into working out. But the decision to play USA obviously ramped that back up. So my recovery time was a little bit shorter. You have to pay attention to what you eat and what you drink, my protein shakes, and so that all played a part into Rockin' Protein in this partnership. And then the Olympics on top of that. Like, I have to be ready to go. Got to make sure the body's healthy. And so it was just a matrimony for sure. I'm happy and excited about the partnership, but more importantly, making sure the body's good and having the right products behind it for sure.
What's Vegas been like so far? It's early going here, and
all of the truth.
Yeah,
hot. Oh man, it's been like 111, 112 every day. But Vegas is great. It's going to be tough. We're here for 2 weeks, so they're asking us to stay out of trouble for 2 weeks, which we got to be able to do. We got to stay locked in. We have a goal, winning a gold medal. So it's been intense from camp, from Coach Pop. He's awesome. His spirit just trickles down to everybody else. He's always in a great mood. And he holds everybody to the same standard. He doesn't just sugarcoat anything. He's going to be real. He's going to be honest with you. He's a great communicator. He's been perfect. His energy just is contagious. So far so good. I'm looking forward to it.
The social justice conversation, I don't know if you feel like it's been quieted down too much, but I mean, Pop, outside of knowing hoop and all that, he's been so progressive in your corner.
Yeah.
What does that, I'm sure guys appreciate it. I mean, do you appreciate it?
100%. Like, Pop, like, that was one of the first things he did when we first came into camp in the meet. Like, he embraced us. He understood us. And for us, that means the world, and it wasn't even about basketball. And that speaks volumes to who he is. And he wants to kind of be like, put it on me. Like, I can handle it. Like, I want you guys to focus on winning this gold medal. And so, we understand that we have our moments, and we understand our country has its problems. Every country has its problems,
Right.
And so we'll address that. we still have our boots on the ground who will do the work here. But we got to go win a gold medal. You know, we didn't like how our last outing went. So he wants us really dialed into that, not getting distorted and thrown off track with protesting and everything that's going on, and just stay locked in.
Have you guys been talking about just the reality of what is Japan right now? 15% of the population is vaccinated. You know, no fans. That seems like a pretty crazy place to go to right now.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary in a few ways. But obviously, we're taking the necessary precautions, and we're definitely educating ourselves before I think any decisions are made. But more or less, I mean, we still got a job to do. You know, they made their decision not to have any fans, which I think will help in a lot of ways. But you know, we still have to be safe. We still got to make sure we're social distancing. We still have to apply by our COVID rules, like almost like how we were during the year. You know, so in a lot of ways, it's like you're just still used to it. You're still used to wearing your mask. You know, vaccinated, not vaccinated, like we still wear our mask, and you know, we continue to push forward. Yeah.
I don't want to get too personal here, but is there a conversation like on the team, like he's vaxxed, he's not? How does that go?
Not really. No. I mean, we're around each other. I mean, hell, if somebody's. I mean, the fact that you can get it with the vaccine, like it's. I mean, I guess it don't really. In a lot of ways, it matters, but in some people's mind, it doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah.
So it's definitely crazy to see that, and you know, we just try to be safe as much as possible. We still act as if, you know, COVID is still strong as I don't know what out there.
Yeah. This roster is stacked. I mean, KD.
Paper's great. We understand how that paper works. That paper mind trick. We know how that works.
Yeah. Okay. But still, forget about gold medal just for a second. I'm thinking back to when the Dream Team started '92. Those guys had legendary practices, and I heard that the guy that was bald, if you walked in there, like that dude's the best player, and you know everybody else is kind of trailing, right? Which is crazy considering the amount of talent. Like, are you guys going at it like that in practice early on? Is there that level of trying to prove it yourself type of thing?
So we've been going up against the select team, and they've kicked our butt a few times. Like they getting after us, and granted, we've kicked their butt a few times too. But it's been competitive, and it's exactly what we need, and it's exactly what Pop was trying to reiterate to us: is respecting our opponents, respecting each and every opponent, and understanding it's going to be physical. Fans, if there are fans, will be rooting against you, and nobody wants you to win. Like, you have to understand that everybody is going to root against the U.S. So, you know, our practices have been intense. It's high level. Like, it's Pop. He's not playing this shit. So he is full throttle with everything. He is like very attention to detail. Like I said before, holds everybody accountable to the same standard, whether it's KD, Kevin Love, whoever it is. Like, it's the same. Me, Jason, down to the young guys. Like, it's the same across the board, and the same with his staff. So it's been a great couple of days. Sure.
I think you're in kind of an interesting spot because you played with John, and then he got hurt, and okay, go play the one and get yours, but also facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got all these guys all around you.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I balance getting mine versus just fitting in? Like, how is that whole process working for you?
It's simple. It's not about getting yours, right? So
yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. You realize is everybody on this team can go score 30. So I don't have to go do that. KD can go do it. We know that. Zach can go do that. Jason can do that. Bam can do that. Like, everybody on our team can go score 30 any given night. So it's that sacrifice part of it is, okay, we know we got to be better on defense. We know that's where our energy and our focus has to be. We know we got to rebound. Like, that's what we got to do. We're talented on offense. We know the game. We know how each other play. Obviously, we got to continue to gel and continue to build that camaraderie and that understanding of how we like to play. But more important is our attention to our opponent and our defense. Like, that's more than anything. We're talented enough to score a lot of points, but we got to defend.
Well, let me talk about your Wizards team for a little bit here, because I loved your season. Y'all were kind of counted out, and I love Russ. Like, just there's a million NBA storylines all the time, but just the way he's handled when KD left, like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm just gonna put it on myself. And the way he speaks out about, you can judge championships and all that stuff. It's like, and which I think is the dumbest. Like, you don't know anything about basketball whatsoever. What are we playing, the counting game? Like, you have to understand what guys are up against and what they're doing. So I just love them. But I also hear like dudes like, they want to win too. So there's this balance of like, do you play on the super team, or do you, hey, like, have the integrity? I'm with this organization. I'm going to carry them as far as I can go, squeeze as much lemon. Like, and you're in that spot, you're not free agent until 2023. Like, how do you, that whole thing, like being happy in Washington versus being jealous of what other guys have and all that type of stuff?
It's tough. It is tough because it's the uncertainty that kills you, because you can see, okay, you can go to a super team, right? Brooklyn, but Brooklyn they're not in the finals right now. Like Lakers, they're not in the finals right now. Like Golden State, granted, these teams are hurt, but the mega teams aren't that were in years past. They're not in the finals right now. Like, nobody thought Phoenix would do what they do right now. So in your head, you're like, well, dang, can Washington do what Phoenix did? So that uncertainty is what kills you, and at the same time, you understand that you want to win. You do want to win. And this is me going into my 10th year. So, that clock is ticking. That clock is ticking. I don't get any younger. So, at the end of the day, we definitely finished better than what we started. It still wasn't where we wanted to be. Hell of a lot more room to grow. But in hindsight, just seeing like how the league is and where guys go, like Milwaukee built up their team, but they're in the ship. So it's that uncertainty. Like, it can happen, but the grass may not always be greener. So
maybe. I mean, I'm not an NBA player. Obviously, I'm a interviewer, whatever you want to call me. But I look at a guy like Dirk. You got your like that to me is like ideal career.
Yeah.
You guys were not supposed to win, and you did.
Yeah.
That's incredible, and you're loved and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I got it. I look at a guy like Dame, and I have so much respect for him. Like, he's a preposterous basketball player, and he's just put that franchise on his back, which is exactly what you're doing. So I'm just giving you mad respect, Bradley. Like, to
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just hear like a lot of guys like, oh, he wins. Like, no. Like, competing, carrying. Like, for you personally, I would feel like, and maybe it'd be sweet to win as being like the third guy or second guy, whatever. But but wouldn't you think the pinnacle is to carry a team and being the guy?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll stop with this narrative because we're in agreement. I got it. Have you guys, just let me go back to the number two for a second. Is there a pecking order here? Is anybody like, he's number one, number two?
No. No. I don't think we don't approach it like that. No, we just naturally, like, we're just natural leaders, natural guys on the team. Like he's an unbelievable teammate, and like what he's done as an MVP, Mr. Triple Double, like, he's just magnificent in so many ways, man. Like, I love Russ. He plays extremely hard, and even towards, you can say with the Olympic team, there's no pecking order. Like, there's so many talented dudes. Like, it's whatever. But with Washington, like, Russ has been there. He's a vet. Like, he's played in the finals. He's played in conference championships. He knows what it takes to get there. So.
That's funny because I was asking you about the Olympic team, and you went to your own squad, and that's massive respect you just gave to Russ.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, with the Olympic team, obviously we know KD. We won't care that ball for sure. But I mean, hell, Jason can do damn near the same thing. Zach is special. Dame is special. Beyond special, right? I'm a huge Dame fan, and everybody, man, like, it's so crazy. Like, bam, like you said, the roster is crazy. It is sick. It looks like unfair in a lot of ways, but then you count the three guys that are still playing right now, like Middleton, Drew, Book. Like, they're not even here with us, right? So imagine that. Like, that's wild. That's wild. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I think I'm up against the clock. You got somewhere to go, so let me just wrap with one more question here, unless you're straight. But I just want to talk about your mom because I know that she. I mean, you were straight A student, and she's hooping with you. That's not your normal mom now. I mean, this let's I don't know what part of her influence do you look back on right now, sitting where you're at, and just appreciate the most?
Everything, man. Like she put the ball in my hand from day one. Earliest memory is me sitting on my parents' bed shooting on a little tight hoop. She telling me to keep my God hand up like Ray Allen. Like I remember it like it's yesterday. And so she's terrific, man. Like she's the reason I continue to go hoop the way I do. Like she's always been my toughest coach. I'll tell every coach that I've ever played for. You can't yell at me harder than my mom yells at me, so I will always be good. But she's been terrific, man. Like she's my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. And a big reason why I play the game, I have nothing but respect for her. She is a super strong woman. A mother of 5 boys, no girls. Like she provided for us, her and my father. Like they did an unbelievable job with all of us. So man, everything I do, I try to do, as a representation of her and, who she raised me to be.
10 seconds on just because this is Chicago. I'm a Chicago guy. Tell Bulls fans why Billy Donovan is the right dude for them.
Oh, man, come on, man. Billy's a great coach. Billy is a true players coach. He's a great communicator, a great teacher. I think he will definitely get the best out of developing young players and out of star players. I think he can really help propel Zach's game. And obviously, they got to build up the team around him. But you give him that opportunity, he'll excel for sure. He's a great coach.
Bradley, good to see you, man. I appreciate the conversation. Continued success. Enjoy the Olympics. Go get that gold, all that.
My man, Mark, thanks